for SofM. He's going to have those shields coming out from the Orianna. And Suning's composition has a ton of pick potential.
Okay, so pick potential for Suning, I'll keep that in the back of my mind because there is a lot of long range with the Ashe, Jayce, and SofM. The gap closed there alongside SwordArt.
Exactly.
Talk to me about top esports quickly. What do you see?
I love how they also have a bit of pick coming out because you have Jhin Ultimate as well as the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles. But the thing where their comp will accelerate over Suning's is those straight up 5v5s. They have the double frontline coming in the Wukong and the Leona. They have so many engage options in with the Cyclone as well. You have Jhin who can engage. You have Knight who can find the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. So I want to see TS be able to come together as a team, especially around that 8 to 10 minute mark for that first Herald. And we really want to see on the side of Suning for SofM to get ahead on this Olaf, get that full clear down, and try to influence some of these lanes a bit early on and just set up some vision for Bin to do well.
You know, we talked a lot about top esports punishing windows, but for Suning in V5 series, we saw a lot of that as well, right? SofM on his Olaf, the counter jungle in the bottom lane. Sorry, counter gank, I should say, where he was very impactful in shutting down that bottom lane. SofM in game one farmed well, but Karsa had more impact. It's come down to jungle, but in essence, it came down to individual skill. And top esports, head to tails, had that over Suning in G1. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to head on to Summoner's Rift, so I'm going to throw it to our beautiful players to get into this second game after top esports massacred the very first. Huanfeng looking at his predecessor in JackeyLove, saying, whew, some sharp moves in game one, but let me show you what I can do here in the series. We continue forward with our semi-final, the LPL Summer, coming to a near close. We only have a week left remaining, if even that, and I can't count, so I'm sure someone out there can do the math. As Suning invading what I like to see here in my league.
Great from them. Olaf, of course, is probably the strongest level 1 jungler in the game. Also, all the threat coming out from the dredge line with the Nautilus, so they are going to get some deep vision down, at least be able to spot out where Karsa is starting.
Any runes interest you across the board? Of course, Knight going Unsealed Spellbook is not as common, but here in the LPL, I think we've just kind of stuck with it, despite the nerfs. We've
really stuck with it. There's only been one time I remember we had Electrocute, and it was against LeBlanc, which is actually pretty typical.
Hang on. This is a good 1v1 for 369, but it's not going to be a 1v1. He flashes away, and Undertow connects, goes back on in. I think he knows he's dead, wants to take down Bin with him, but First Blood is going to go over to Bin. The Jayce Shock Blast and gets his 400 gold.
So, you know, he got caught out. He was actually the one that engaged. Big mistake coming out from 369. Going to be a great advantage. He tried to chunk out SofM so his clear wouldn't be so easy. But it's an Olaf. Once he gets at W level 2, he's going to feel quite fine being at low HP.
Of course, clears so much faster with the phase rush too, the chase potential as we've seen recently in 10-15, 10-16.
Now, I'm going to be interested to see what SofM does because I'm not sure if he could have predicted that Karsa started at his bot side, but Karsa now going to go straight to his red. I was wondering if SofM would want to try to go for a cheeky steal on a red buff because now you know Bin will 100% have pressure in that top lane. But we still see SofM going to full clear
good
towards
combo. Cleanse is used. Huanfeng is ignited down, flashes away as well. The bottom lane of top esports firing in all cylinders.
And that was just great coming out from JackeyLove and yuyanjia. They've done so well in these two games.
Good block.
Yep, SwordArt doing a nice job, but so both junglers just clearing to the opposite ends of the map. I was going to say Karsa could potentially look for a gank top, but Jayce is quite safe. He also has that phase rush coming in, so unless Bin makes a mistake, he shouldn't really be able to go down.
I just want to point out to everyone through competitive games, this is JackeyLove's first game here, but Karsa, meanwhile, going to topside smokescreen on Bin, who got First Blood. End of the line does its damage, and Bin's just dead. Given over to Karsa, so a good response from TES.
And Karsa made it look so much easier than I just stated. Bin overpushed, wasn't even thinking about a gank at this time. Doesn't matter that he has phase rush, doesn't matter that he has flash.
Oh, they're waiting for the TP. Bin to the turret. Safe, smart. Very good.
Yep, Bin not going to make those rookie mistakes and just going to lead to Karsa being able to transition into this topside scuttle. Of course, we see Knight pushing in the mid lane as we'd expect on the Zoe against the Orianna in these early levels.
So while we've had a bit of action early in this small window, I just want to reiterate what we're talking about in Champion Select, where you mentioned a lot of the pick potential for Suning. We also talked about top esports, their 5 versus 5, and how that's going to be influenced maybe around objectives, if I'm correct in saying so. Talk to me a little bit about the focus lanes from here. Is it just about looking at top after everything that's happened?
I even think before anything happened, right? We said the way you play against Jayce is to pick things that have good gank setup and setting this Jayce behind early. We've already seen that happen once. It didn't actually require any gank setup. It was just been pushing the lane out. Looks like Karsa's going to go for it again.
And here he comes. Olaf on the back at Gromp, though, meanwhile. So SofM won't have time to get in, but we'll have to start running up his end of the line to clear the wave. Maybe just to take some pressure off, but into Bin he goes. And Bin still walking forward. So Karsa adding a helping hand to 369.
But SofM coming up. I wonder if Bin's going to try to bait it out. Yep, he's spotted, like you say. Just gives him a bit of vision, but hey, Karsa and 369 are just going to keep going.
SofM still there, waiting for the undertow. If it connects on 2, that's beautiful, and it does. Lines it down, but teleport immediately. Burners 369's clone absorbs the damage, and Knight joins in. Meanwhile, though, the 2v2 means we're all ready to go. And huanfeng running forward after a decent trade this time from Suning.
Yep, and nice trade coming out from the TS bot lane, and
Zoe.
Knight doing a great job, and this is actually one of the things we see from Knight a lot. Knight does typically give up these early teleports for top lane.
Yeah.
You know, this time it was a bit more reactive, but TS have been a team that have consistently tried to set up top lane dives, so not very uncommon for Knight. Doesn't even lose anything in the mid lane. The wave is in a very good spot.
I was going to say, you don't give up much by teleporting to the top side. Bin forced to go back here, and remember, Bin just used his TP, but lucky for him, the wave at a neutral state up in that top side. 369 also walking to the wave and has picked up Ninja Tabi on the Wukong. And so far here for the solo lanes, for Suning, things are okay, you'd say, even after dying to the Karsa gank top.
And great job by Knight so far to just continuously keep up this pressure in mid lane. It should be easy for TS to pivot into either side of River to pick up one of those objectives. I definitely would love to see, at that 8-minute mark, TS be able to rotate their bot lane up first and get Herald.
Okay.
That's actually been uncharacteristic for TS this split, though. They have been the team that have preferred to get plate gold on JackeyLove and give up a lot of these early Rift Heralds. But when you do have something like a Jhin, something that does want to play a lot more fast pace of a game, we want to see these brawls break out for TES.
Which is why this setup's really important, at the very least, getting Dragon now, because we're 6 minutes in. Bottom side control there for Karsa, and the ability to look at this objective before that Herald spawns. Getting spotted out on a deep ward, though, that SofM placed earlier. Puts his own control ward, and looks like he will be starting this objective off finally.
Yeah, but SofM's going to be able to get vision down.
Level 6 on Karsa, SofM only 5, so Ragnarok is not available yet.
And you still have Sleepy Trouble Bubble coming out from Knight, so SofM should feel a bit threatened, but...
Cyclone used in the top side, though. Remember, this is just Wukong trying to force Bin out, and he'll get the phase rush and just walk while the wave cleared by the double Cyclone.
Exactly, just trying to force Bin out, assert a bit of pressure, clear out a lot of these minions. He went the Ninja Tabbies that we had spoken about.
Good trading from Bin. I mean, 369, just trying to survive.
Bin is someone who's very adept on the Jayce. He's been one of our go-to split-push players all year long, and now we see exactly what we talked about from Suning early in this game, where, hey, as SofM just set up vision for Bin, allow him to get this isolated 1v1, be aggressive, take these turret plates, and win out his own matchup, to where we want to see Karsa have more impact ganking these lanes.
And he's going to go for mid right now onto Angel, who has minimal mana. Is he going to cleanse away? Immediately so. And that summoner goes down as Karsa shows.
And now Karsa going to help Knight clear the wave, going to guarantee them that priority, and potentially going to go with this dragon. Yep, we see Karsa heading over now. Rift Herald's still not up for another 20 seconds, so they shouldn't have to give that one away.
But SofM is pretty deep on this top side jungle, so does this influence the Rift Herald take? Does Suning have a better setup here in front of this objective?
The thing is, Suning do have the winning top laner, right? We even see Bin coming back with items to where 369 doesn't have any.
Okay.
And knowing that TS have been a team that haven't prioritized Rift Herald all split, it wouldn't surprise me for them not to go for it.
At least add more pressure on those lanes. Going to be started up by SofM at the very least, and I love that deep control ward towards Raptor's side.
Karsa is pinging that he's going to go check.
Ah.
Knight's hovering as well.
369 sacrificing the wave. Ward placed in, SofM by himself and out. Trouble Bubble laid bare in front of the pit. Karsa ready to steal instead. That ward is spotting out Knight.
All of Suning's bot lane is
Steal.
coming.
It's taken. It's absolutely taken, but Karsa's left in the pit by himself, getting help from Knight on the back end. Flashes away Enchanted Crystaro. Misses, though. Herald has 20 seconds of timeout, and I think Top Esports might just let it go.
I think it's also fine. You prevented it from going down. 369 getting sent in to try to pick that one up.
Do they fight instead is the question. 369 going to say yes with the Cyclone, but the Shockwave destroys the Monkey King. Karsa gets Watt back as well, and for Top Esports, make a decision, I'd say, as the curtain call comes through, and Bin now hiding behind his team as Angel, the last hit denied by SofM. Knight still wants to go in, and JackeyLove sees huanfeng. This has gotten real messy.
Top Esports tried to make the cheeky play by sending 369 in. He looked a bit indecisive. Do I just commit to going for the Herald? Oh, I have a great angle to engage. Pops the Cyclone, but guess what? Karsa and Knight are getting zoned off, and JackeyLove and yuyanjia are still nowhere near the fight.
Sometimes when you play Wukong, you want to cosplay, you know? You want to be the Wukong. You want to be the Monkey King. 0-2 here, start here for 369, and Bin was the person to pick that kill up. If I'm not mistaken, unless it was Angel. At the very least, Solo Lane is in a decent position. No one picks up the Herald, but for Suning, at the very end, getting that kill means they are up about 1,000 gold at 9 minutes.
That is going to be nice for Suning because, of course, they did lose the Dragon early on. And a lot of their late game is going to be very, very hard to play out because they don't have, you know, a very set front line. They only have SwordArt on the Nautilus, and Nautilus isn't even as tanky as Leona, whose her shield gives resistances to her Nautilus shield just gives HP.
Yep.
So
God, you know a lot about this game.
It's going to be like Suning are going to have to play a bit more flawlessly. It's going to be a bit more fragile to where TS, you have the Wukong, you have the Leona, you're just going to be able to run forward.
Seems a lot easier to execute, so nicely put. I like that. I'll keep it in the back of my mind. I'm just noticing now, though, if we take a look at, after everything's said and done, the individual leads. And, of course, I'm talking about bot. JackeyLove's up 30 CS. But maybe I pause because yuyanjia and Karsa are waiting. SofM's walking in. Ragnarok available. Angel flashes away immediately. But depth charge for Karsa, who went over the wall, and the Shockwave pulls him back. He's too far forward. SofM still wants to run into this one, and Suning punish their own window.
Great burst coming out from SofM. SwordArt also following up with an amazing ultimate. And TS getting punished now is going to lead into control of bot side vision. It's going to be harder for JackeyLove to be able to walk out into a neutral state in the lane and farm. Now Angel easily able to push out these waves, and he's blue buff.
He's in a very good position. 2-0. He has Dark Steel stacks acquired, and seems like Orianna in this series are going to be a big deal.
True, and even in this position, it's actually not so easy as for Zoe to clear waves under her turret because, of course, your Paddle Star doesn't clear the melee minions in just one go. So Angel getting a lot of value out of that, getting some plate gold as well.
Teleport going to be used by Knight to get back into this lane. Only with the Lost Chapter in hand. Angel should have a bit of gold to back on as well. So I believe his Lost Chapter will be coming soon as he pushes up yet another wave. And almost hits his second bit of turret plating. Even denies the cannon, which is nice. Bin, meanwhile, just attacking topside too.
And he has a Serrated Dirk. He has the Caulfield's Warhammer. So he's doing a lot of damage in this matchup. We see 369 has a Tiamat, so at least he will be able to clear out waves a bit better. But it's just a matter of time before Bin is able to take this.
Do you remember the last time Bin was on Jayce? It was the V5 series where he got bullied out early, but then held on, controlled himself, and moved into a mid-game in a very strong way. This time around, gets first blood, gets hit by Karsa, recovers, and is now sitting on 2-1. So with the turret plating as well, there's going to be a very strong one item soon. And this is good timing because with TP available, Lyric, we've got 30 seconds till the next dragon, and Suning is setting up.
Exactly. Like you said, Bin has TP. He's able to just walk back up top and put pressure on turret plates alone to where if TS want to contest, 369 has no TP. 369 will have to start walking straight after pushing this wave and look to contest in this 5v5. That's what it looks like he's going to do.
Okay. Walking down immediately, but here comes Dragon. Top Esports on top of the scuttle, which SofM got a little bit before. SofM level 8, Karsa the same. Just looking at comparisons, here comes Monkey. All right. Angel walking through as well. Centerplate actually connects. They want to take the engage solo play there, but no one yet as depth charge goes in. And meanwhile, SofM's going to die. Across the board is a double shockwave, but Dragon is secured while Karsa tries to run away. The Cyclone good. And this is a little bit crazy as JackeyLove opens up the curtain call. And Bin, he wants you to dance for him. As the last shot doesn't connect, Bin, Deadly Flourish does though. And JackeyLove may have just given this kill over to 369.
and that fight got split into 2 parts. Great job by TS bursting out SofM because, as we said, hey, they only have one frontline champion. SwordArt was on the opposite side of the fight. SofM goes down extremely early. Karsa secures that dragon for himself. And sure, yuyanjia got a bit ahead of himself on the opposite side. But still, here we will have a replay of the fight. yuyanjia goes in. As we say, Karsa's trying to prevent SofM from going in. yuyanjia gets bursted down quite early, but Karsa also takes down SofM. They're able to take away the dragon. They're able to kite forward because Jayce and Ashe, no engage options available on them right now. And then they're able to secure that last kill onto SwordArt.
I mean, this fight was like mentioning Taco Bell to an Australian. They'll have no idea what's going on. But in the end, Top Esports nailed down that last kill. And some much-needed gold when you talked about how these 5v5s are going to work and how Top Esports, if they're at a neutral state, how they can play the rest of this game out.
Especially how we talked about how their comp does want to opt into a lot of these early 5v5 fights, how that's where their comp thrives. Especially, they do great on flanks coming in with the Wukong, coming on a lot of these squishy backline targets. And they've done so well excelling at that. And now that they're setting themselves up for a potential very early Dragon Soul.
Yeah. And can you imagine as well when you talk about front to back, when you have a mountain or double mountain in your back pocket? It's going to feel pretty good if you're yuyanjia and 369. Herald has spawned second time around, though. My eyes are there because SofM got here first.
This time around, though, 369 will be the one who has TP if they wanted to opt into a play, but it actually looks like Karsa is just going to give this one up and path towards spot to punish Bin.
Because I was going to say there's a trap there by the Jhin that you can TP to, but Karsa has other plans. Still red first, then kill Bin. But Bin's going to... Ships in the night.
Yeah, Bin's
on a mission.
Ooh, this one's going to be interesting.
That would have been like, what? Okay, he's above me. Never mind.
I also want to highlight SofM's build, which we haven't talked about, sitting on the 2 ruby crystals. Oh, never mind.
We have time. End of the line at the ready again. Bin getting annihilated. Phase rush there. And Karsa misses the ulti. Flashes back in. Gets it eventually as Angel now going to be walking forward. The phase rush first. Phase rush and Angel will get the response kill. As you thought Karsa was going to get that cleanly.
I'm actually surprised he's able to burst out Bin so quickly. Bin as well having the ninja tabbies, not able to get out of there in time. Great job from Karsa despite missing the ultimate. Here's the 369.
In a bit of a pickle. Level 11, 369. Going to ignore SwordArt and kill huanfeng. He has the enchant across the arrow, flash, and cleanse, but to get out of this would be an absolute miracle to say the least. It's in the alcove. Send him over the cliff. He's dead.
I like how 369 realizes I'm not going to be the one to take this kill, and we just see Knight and JackeyLove competing for it.
1 kill over to Knight while Richard spawned mid for Suning, so it's good to see a response play from Suning to pick up a bit more gold.
They still hold the gold lead, actually a 2K gold lead now, so even higher than it was before, but still, Knight finishing up this loot in Zeko. He's going to start hitting like a truck. Even Jhin sitting at that 1 item mark, but you expect JackeyLove does have a bit of gold in his pocket. We're going to start seeing a lot of these good item spikes coming out for TS.
Infinity Edge first. I think we've talked about it a little bit here, but let's watch Karsa kill Bin.
Yeah, and we see Bin just walk straight into him. He's able to hit everything point blank, even gets the Q off faster on the terrain. Misses the ultimate, which is pretty sad. Has the red buff, which takes down Bin. I mean, Karsa's now just in a horrible position. Very easy cleanup kill for Angel.
As SofM was going to be there anyway. Angel picks up his 3rd kill. Note that this Orianna is still quite large and in charge.
And I do want to highlight, we talked about TS's items, but even Suning right now aren't a very good item spike, especially with Bin already having one of his items completed. I believe it was the Yomu's Ghost Blade, and already halfway into his 2nd item.
Contesting here for the blue buff. Ragnarok is available. Blue buff will be given over to Knight, though, and Suning playing very aggressively.
Ooh, and they cut off TS's option in the mid, but 369 is coming around.
They could make a meaty Suning sandwich.
JackeyLove's not here, though.
Does lie and taste good. Ragnarok still available, though. Deadly Flourish blocked by SwordArt, and Knight's poking ability is ramping up. The rest of Suning pushed through mid. The inner turret hurt a bit, but 369 now shown.
And we've already talked about earlier about how, you know, Suning's comp does do quite well when the enemies are in front of them. They are able to get the poke down, as you mentioned. Yep. Champ Select coming out from the Jayce, coming out from the Ashe. Even Orianna enjoys that because you get to keep your ball in like a static place to dish all your damage out.
And you think about it, when you get Renans on huanfeng, in a choke, Suning are going to be so potent with Shockwave, Shock Blast, and an Olaf to boot, who's already built his Cinderhulk and heading towards that 2nd item. Dragon sitting in front, though, and staring at both these teams, and 369 blending in with the brush.
He realizes, right, he's able to find that flank angle onto Bin on the huanfeng.
Oh, Karsa goes Solar Flare. SofM has to flash away and use Ragnarok. Meanwhile, 369's coming in. The last shot of the curtain call doesn't connect, but Suning are too low and have thus given up the Dragon. That is now going to lead to Soul Point.
At 18 minutes and 40 seconds, Suning doing TS, I'm sorry, doing such a great job.
Oh my god. Knight doing it again, apparently. Wants to run in with a Paddle Star, Angel in front. And this guy, even though he doesn't have the kills like Angel, is still performing like he's in charge.
There are two champions synonymous with Knight. One is Echo, one is Zoe.
Yeah.
He is showing why. And he might not have to 1v9 take over these games, but he's dealing so much damage, providing so much threat. Even his Paddle Star around Dragon when JackeyLove opened the ultimate was one of the things that chunked out SwordArt so low.
Isn't it funny, because in this series so far, we've been talking a lot about 369. We've been talking a lot about JackeyLove and yuyanjia's laning phase and how Karsa facilitates. Knight the least talked about member, but that's never been the case. In this second game, he's picked up a Majai's again.
Knight is very evidently the best player in LPL. That's, we've seen that over the past 2 years.
Karsa, be careful, gives up the red buff. Enchanted Arrow connects. Angel has the shockwave, pulls him in, takes a Krug, and gets the kill. Trouble Bubble connects, and not much Knight can do about it. Dredgeline onto the Krug. Really nice stuff from Suning to find that window on Karsa.
Yeah, I like the way you call it a window, because as Karsa, I don't know how you'd expect that. You don't see anyone pushing top. You don't see anyone pushing mid. They just walk straight into your jungle. Now there's an Orianna in front of you. Suddenly Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, and I could see how Karsa just ends up going down. There's no way to predict that play.
And he's down for 10 seconds. Inner turret might be forfeit, but 369 onto Bin. Wants to clear the wave. Bin's just going to take the long way.
One way that Suning can continuously punish top esports like we've seen is that they actually don't really have great wave clear. We've talked about how Zoe actually not an amazing wave clear champion.
Yeah.
Jhin obviously isn't, so you're going to have a great job at being able to conduct these sieges with an Ashe, with an Orianna, with a Jayce.
We're watching 369.
He's playing very cautiously, right? Making sure that there isn't any unexpected cheese play coming out from a member of Suning. We do see Suning come off base with resets. Now it's just going to be about getting Bin back in that bot lane, setting up that pressure. And it definitely seems like Suning are more set on playing as a 4-man core rather than around Jayce.
Which is kind of nice. So far has worked out. Enchanted Arrow to be talked about as Colonel. Come on, mate. Not yet. But here's the play you mentioned, 369. Clearing out the wave, going to take the Shock Blast. SofM's walking in there. There's still a lot of damage on Bin. Delaying it, though. The Shock Blast not being used. Ragnarok, though, with the flash. 369 pulls in the Cyclone. Bin is going to be tanking up when SofM leaves. Now at a low health bar. Knight has teleported in. And this has gone horribly wrong for Suning. SwordArt has to flash out as well. And what turned into be a good play might bite them in the bottom. As SofM without Ragnarok, Solar Flare. This might be a solo kill by the support, but JackeyLove takes it away in the end. And top esports strike back.
And just massive overcommittal coming out from Suning. 369 doing a great job at buying time. Nice Cyclone coming out to keep Jayce there. And this is a standard top esports play. TS are one of the most decisive teams at forcing Barons once they're able to find those crucial picks.
Yeah, but 2-item Graves. He's going to do this quick, and Knight is zoning away. huanfeng threatened from getting towards this pit. Angel low on mana. Teleport being burned and zoned away again. Use that word for Knight. Smokescreen zones them off as Bin now comes on in. Top esports might turn for the play, though, as Baron disengaged from Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Doesn't connect the dredge line into the middle of the pit. SofM in a bad position, but at the back of the pit, so is 369. The curtain call may change all that, though, as Knight getting engaged on by Bin. The trouble bubble before he goes golden. Angel, with his last shockwave, will die anyway. Low health bars, but top esports nailed down another Suning fight.
And TS's comp has such a great turn coming out from the Leona, coming out from the Zoe, the Jhin ult, just like we saw, picking up more kills. And guess what? You can just rinse and repeat. You can back off, get back on the map, set up that bot side vision for Dragon, and just keep forcing Suning into these uncomfortable positions where they need to come into you. And guess what? Cyclone is back up for 369. We can once again see him make this massive play, look for this massive flank, and set up JackeyLove and Knight for this big team fight damage.
Lyric, people are going to call us prophets because the individual plays are really coming through in this game number 2. As Suning, you mentioned, overcommitted a little bit.
Yeah, I think a lot more than a little bit coming out from SofM. They committed to that side of the map. They felt like they needed to get a kill out of it, weren't able to. We see Suning try to go, and Knight actually missed a bunch of Paddle Stars and Sleepy Trouble Bubbles. Great sidestepping from Suning, but we actually look like we have a potential fight on our screen, but we do see Top Esports had the turn, the Jhin ultimate came out, yuyanjia goes in, and they're able to pick up a bunch of these kills.
Karsa got a massive shutdown. He was already quite humongous with the 2 items, now heading towards the Death Dance. And does feel like the carry potential stronger in the second game as the engage comes through onto Ragnarok. yuyanjia golden in the nick of time. Trouble Bubble lands onto SwordArt, who might not be tanky enough. The Shockwave kills the support, but 369 goes on in with a Cyclone. SwordArt low, that's just the clone. Top Esports with the numbers disadvantage, but they have the damage to destroy. SofM now evens up those numbers while Bin gets low.
Ooh.
Shock Blast kills Knight and takes away the Magi. Stacks. huanfeng wants to head forward as with the dissonance, bit of damage onto 369. Karsa running away. There's still a smite ready for this Dragon Soul, but will Top Esports go into the river? Here comes the curtain call. Onto SwordArt, that's the target. huanfeng standing in front, but he's dead anyway with the DOT. Karsa now needs to get back into this fight because huanfeng wants to take him down to 369. Destroys him. Angel now the next target. And Suning is a game of inches. But the mile is all for Top Esports once more.
I love that both of these teams are just playing off of mechanical skill, like you said. Honestly, Top Esports could have taken that slower, could have waited for JackeyLove's ultimate to come up, but no. Knight's trying to make the big plays, gets taken down by Bin. Then 369 once again at a crucial moment where huanfeng thinks he can step forward, instantly deletes him.
24 kills at 24 minutes, and this was a bruiser.
We see yuyanjia going in, of course. SofM has a Ragnarok. We see yuyanjia go golden, but instantly gets taken down. Angel's ultimate sadly only hits one member. 369 gets in, is able to get out very quickly, and this is where I felt like TES could probably just back off, wait out the Jhin ultimate, which is going to come up soon, but Knight still trying to layer that poke. Great shot blast coming in from Bin. TES take it a bit slow here. They back off. They make you think, okay, it's okay. Jhin ultimate now up, comes out. He's actually able to...
Oh,
the trap is what takes him down. Karsa goes in. huanfeng walks forward. We see 369 get in there. Now, okay, we're in a 3v2 scenario. You still have this tanky Wukong. Bin feels forced to jump in because guess what? It's Dragon, so you can't give that over.
And we're back. And Angel's at half health. And with the Shockwave, I think he's still dead. We just come back to more fighting. And that's the Top Esports way. Even though this has been a lot bloodier. Now with that pick, is it time for Baron?
TES are so comfortable at playing this game of inches. And we saw that in the last fight. We see this in a lot of these picks. And the comfortability being able to go to this Baron and having the confidence that they will be able to come out ahead.
And just like that, this game could be nearing succession here for Top Esports, but they need to get this Baron as SofM's nearby.
No flash for huanfeng is something to pay attention to because 369 is forcing that flank.
Now going to get spotted out by huanfeng, but Trouble Bubble lands once again. The curtain call coming through, and across the arrow onto Karsa. The damage is still massive in the Cyclone flank. The monkey spins to win, while SwordArt is just trapped out. JackeyLove is ginormous as well, and Top Esports don't want to stop getting kills.
JackeyLove's Jhin ultimates have been so on point this game to start a lot of these fights. Give time for Karsa and 369 to get in there and pick up a bunch of these kills. And now, once again, Suning have 3 members available. They can try to stop Top Esports. Angel's ultimate is up.
SofM needs a miracle steal on 1/4 HP. Knight is here, goes in with a portal jump. Now against the walls, the TP's there. It's 369 to zone them away. SofM is dodging these paddle stars. Maybe Knight's missing them. As walking from the monkey, going to be big, but 369 can't catch up. And again, Knight's not going to connect while huanfeng walks forward here. Trouble Bubble lands and the Shockwave. Big moment for Suning as 369 does not have his ultimate available. Goes into clone, turns onto huanfeng, gets the Tiamat, but no kill on these two. That's 2 kills, by the way. While the Baron's going down and yuyanjia is going to dive in. Flashes away JackeyLove. Now 1v1, but it doesn't count when Angel has a ball. And Suning deny 4 Barons. Just like that.
This is the individuality coming out for Top Esports, and it's biting them in the butt. We see Knight and 369 trying to force the play on SofM. You don't need to do that. Just turn back towards the Baron and play with your team.
I gotta say, this no longer feels like a semi-final. Collateral damage used for the minion wave, but Inhibitor now exposed. And very much a Top Esports game in this second game, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. They have Dragon Soul. They have 2 mountains, so they're getting more out of the resistances. Knight already has the death cap coming out on the Zoe. If we do get straight up 5v5s, TS should win every time. But that wasn't a 5v5.
No.
That was Knight and 369 saying, hey, let's kill SofM. They go forward. They get so damn close.
Oh my god.
But they aren't able to do it in the end.
He sold his Magi's lyric. What happened? Knight used to be this confident player. I'll tell you what happened. He lost the stacks the second time.
this is the time where it's like, okay, you can prioritize the swagger, the look, or you can prioritize winning this and, you know, getting to finals and going to Worlds.
Because we're at 28 minutes in the game, and Top Esports are dead even in gold after all this fighting said and done, even after JackeyLove has that item advantage.
And we've also seen how hard it is for Sunni's Con to play out these fights because we said, hey, they need to keep the enemy at arm's length. They need to play from range.
Thank you.
They really need to be ahead because they don't have that front line. It is so hard to play out these team fights. And Top Esports just have too many tools to set up engages. 4 of their champions have hard CC.
Yes. And now they're going to use it. Zenith Blade doesn't connect. SofM with a good dodge. Soul's already taken away, and Karsa's maintained a massive lead over SofM. We are heading towards Elder, though, crucially in a minute 30. So you can see why Suning are hovering mid, pushing out these waves, and SofM is towards this bottom side river.
Yep, they're just trying to take control. Another thing to highlight is how much the RNG of this map countered Bin with the Mountain Rift coming into play. We see TS with 2 Mountain Drakes stacked up, so getting a lot of value out of those death stances that we see on Karsa and 369. That lethality isn't going to hit the same way.
Bin now heading bot. By the way, this Baron only on, who was it, Karsa?
Yep.
It expires in 30 seconds. This is going to be a negative Baron power play, as you can see in the top right of your screen.
To be fair, with how close the Dragon Timer is, I don't think there's any reason as Top Esports to try to set up another pick or play. They did try with yuyanjia about a minute ago, but just wait out this Drake, you know, slow and steady, force the 5v5 team fight, try to set up the angle for 369 to come around on the back end, and you should be able to steadily close out this game.
Look out for the Shockwave Enchanted Crystal Arrow, though.
Exactly. That is Suning's win condition right now, is hitting this massive Shockwave coming out from Angel. If you can end up hitting it onto Knight, onto JackeyLove, you know, that's a win, 1 fight for Suning.
Also, force out the Ragnarok from SofM, so he used it in an unopportune moment, as yuyanjia, speaking of which, is in this choke.
That Shock Blast did nothing, though.
Yeah, it really didn't. Unfortunate, as you mentioned. Good words for it, but 369 again. Here we go.
He knows his role. He knows he needs to, you know, come from behind, open with a Cyclone.
But are we starting too early? yuyanjia goes in, pops the Stone Plate. SofM is running towards 369 because he's on a ward. And spotted out, the level 16 Wukong gets Chilling Smited away, runs away. Remember, there was no Solar Flares that he used just before. Dragons started, and Suning have to decide when to go in.
Bin's not here, though. Bin was pushing mid.
Oh my god. So he's going to have to be running down. The Trouble Bubble connects, and once again, SwordArt is locked down. Poke damage onto 369 doesn't connect. Dragons at 4k. Suning need to run in and make a play now or hope for the steal from SofM, but they don't get it. It's now time to execute. 369 still here, flushing away. The Shockwave does nothing. Collateral damage does everything, and 369 wants to kill some people. 2 immediately down, and Suning are running for their life. Angel with a great dodge, but that ain't enough. It's 3, and Top Esports all the way.
Top Esports showing their experience in crucial moments because they just gambled this game. They took a 50-50 and they won it. Now, death timer so long on Suning, TES can just push through the bottom half of this map, and guess what? They have that execute coming out from Elder. This looks done and dusted.
Through bottom, through long death timers, it's 2 versus 5. And Elder secured nicely by Karsa, who's had an exceptional game number 2. Inhibitor to be busted, and you know what Top Esports are all about. Going forward, as they will into this Nexus.
And Angel still has 16 seconds left. 369 TPing in.
Teleport being used, the Zenith Blade here to try and get that 2-0 start to the series. Bin hiding behind SofM as the last Nexus turret being tunneled down. Top Esports are making this look way too easy. With the Nexus exposed, they want the fight anyway with Elder. Playing with their food. The Lions are meant to do that.